Hey Radiant Souls, welcome back to my channel. I wanted to talk today a little bit about the energy that's coming up for the next 7 to 10 days. So I do a monthly forecast, and every once in a while we check in with some channeled messages for the week. This felt like one of those times I wanted to let you know what I've been witnessing on the energetic playing field, if you will. I almost said battlefield, and I'm not sure that's inaccurate for this week. So the theme, I was going to say the word, but the theme for the energies, if you aren't already in it, look for that coming up: contraction. So there is a tightening and a constriction of energies with a lot of us. And how that is showing up is a couple of ways. One is purely literally energetically, where you may be feeling like you can't catch a break energetically. You're doing all the things. You're eating your I was gonna say your Wheaties. You're doing your vitamins, you're doing your minerals and supplements, and you're balanced and you're healthy, and you do all the things that normally work for you, and you still just feel like you're hitting a brick wall energetically. That's one of the ways this can show up. The second way, which is probably more common for a lot of us, is with that war we like to wage within our own minds. I don't know that we like to wage it. The war that we end up waging within our own minds. So the energy of contraction and constriction means that we're going to be facing off with a lot of the things that we feel like we already solved for in the way we view ourselves and the way we view our lives. Who we are, like fundamentally, who you are as a person may be coming into question for you in the next few days in some powerful ways, in some ways that feel a little bit overwhelming, if not defeating. And I don't want you to feel overwhelmed or defeated, because it is temporary. That's really what I want you to take away from this, is that this is like the tunnel on the drive through the mountains that you have to go through. It's a little narrower, it's a little dark, but you come out the other side and there's beautiful scenery. That's where we are this week. And if you think of the energy of contraction, you take that to childbirth. In that scenario, contraction is all of the muscles tensing up, the body tensing up, everything constricting before it has a powerful release and a powerful change and a powerful birth of something new. So what this can look like for us is all of the things that you thought you had settled, you had grappled with, the limiting beliefs, the nagging self-talk, the specifically judgment is one of the themes that's really coming up in the collective for the next few days. Primarily self-judgment, but also it's kind of like we start there with the I should have done this, I shouldn't do that, this, that, and the other, but then because we don't want it, we don't want that energy, we deflect it onto somebody else. They shouldn't have done that, they did that wrong, blah, blah, blah. And that's coming up really frequently, like throughout the day, constantly for us in the next week to 10 days. What I want you to try to do, how we get through it, because the team is saying, it's a bad analogy, but like with childbirth, some people opt to have something for the pain. So there really is no, again, I apologize on their behalf, there is no energetic epidural. But I know, right? It's bad. But what we can do is really go within. So one of the other things in childbirth, while you're in contractions, focusing on your breath and having a focal point, those are important. So when something comes up for you that feels uncomfortable, feels like one of these points of constriction for you, the first thing I want you to do, or the team and I want you to do, is say to yourself, and sometimes it's a hard sell, but saying to yourself, this is happening for me, not to me. And not just to say that to gloss over the situation, but to shift your perspective. So you could actually add an if to the beginning of that. If this were happening for me and not to me, how would it change my perspective? And then where is the lesson? This is kind of like a scavenger hunt for those lessons that we thought we had mastered. They are coming up in new ways. That's not unusual. That's what it is to be human. That tends to happen a lot. But they're coming up in really subtle ways, like master level classes on the things we thought we had gotten over. The jealousy we thought wasn't a trigger for us anymore. The envy, which is similar to jealousy, but they're calling it out separately. Self-measurement, self-criticism, different ways in which different lenses, they're showing me too like a kaleidoscope, different ways that we see ourselves, our identity, and the world around us. So when you face something that feels like, gosh, I have been in a bad mood all day and I don't know why, and I keep trying, I just don't feel like myself. I've eaten all the right things. I've had my water. I'm hydrated. I'm nourished. I'm good. I got enough sleep. All the things that would normally work for me don't work today, and I can't stop thinking about blah. Whatever that fill in the blank is, ask yourself, if this were happening, and even if you don't have an answer to something, if it's just the fatigue and the exhaustion and the frustration and the constriction, if this were happening for me and not to me, what would I see as the lesson here? Ask your higher self to help you have that perspective of your soul's path at this particular moment. What is it I'm missing? What am I not seeing here? If you're someone who likes to visualize and kind of gamify or gimmick that out for yourself, you can even consider like one of those hide and seek puzzles. Not necessarily a word find, although if that works for you too, like a word find, show me what I'm missing, and ask your intuition, ask your guides, ask your higher self, highlight for me what I'm missing here. And what I'm picking up on what the team is saying is the awareness of whatever that is for you. And it's gonna potentially surprise you because again, it's something you thought you had done and dusted. I don't get jealous over, my boyfriend looking at somebody anymore because I feel really secure. This week, you may find that jealousy creep back up. So ask yourself, if this were happening for me and not to me, how does that shift my perspective? Show me what it is that I am not perceiving here. So the awareness of it is 80% of shifting it. And then once you see it, even if you kind of almost anthropomorphize it and say, okay, jealousy, I've dealt with you before. I've dealt with you in harder situations than this, and you didn't best me. You're not going to best me today. Reclaim that bit of yourself that you know to be your authentic identity, because so much of that is being shuffled and garbled today. So and for the next few days, we don't feel ourselves. We don't hear our voices in our heads in the same way. That voice that talks to yourself, your own hype girl or whatever it is, that confidence, that presence of authenticity is harder to come by for the next few days. And again, it is temporary. So knowing that hopefully helps you navigate it, but then asking for your energetic epidural, if this were happening for me and not to me, how does that shift my perspective? And really sitting with self this week. This isn't one of those times. I'll do my meditation later. I'll have my devotional practice another time. I don't have time. This is the time to take 5, 10, 15 minutes to say, okay, where am I in this little energetic cyclone? I'm right here. I'm okay. Jealousy, you're good. Judgment, I've dealt with you before too. And you may even see very specifically themes coming back up. Judgment, I dealt with you in the 3rd grade when I won the spelling bee and that was enough. Like you may see things that have echoes from the past. Deal with them. Heal yourself. Clean it up for you. And that scenery when you come out the other end of this tunnel is going to be so amazing. So I hope you found this helpful. I also want to say that this is one of those things that energetic signature portraits can help with. We can see where energetically something is sticky for you. So I'll put information below if you are interested in those. If you aren't aware of what they are, you can check that out on my website. Or if you want to connect one-on-one, you can do that too, and we'll look at your energy in that way, or both. So I hope you found this really helpful. I'll see you again next week. Take care, find your authentic self, shine like the beautiful radiant soul you are, and I'll see you soon. Bye.